Let's move on to Business Person of the Year. It's an honor and privilege for me. And first, asking Mr. John Eichmann, would you please come forward to introduce our Business Person of the Year.
Thank you, Hadi. A little over 30 years ago, Tom Struzzieri founded what was to become the largest equine show jumping production company in the world. HITS organizes, staffs, and manages 37 weeks of horse shows with more than 50 Grand Prix events per year throughout the United States, including the Pfizer Million Grand Prix that takes place right here in Ulster County and is the largest purse for equine show jumping event in the world. Not satisfied to sit on his laurels, Tom turned a personal interest in physical fitness into a new business and established the HITS Triathlon Series. That company produces 5 triathlon races in a weekend at 10 venues all across the country, and 6 of those triathlon events have already taken place this year. Since relocating HITS headquarters to Saugerties, Tom has been a tireless promoter and improver of the community. His most recent venture is the redevelopment of the former Cantine Mill property into the Diamond Mills Hotel and Tavern. It's a 30-room boutique hotel, 400-seat banquet facility, and 150-seat restaurant. Tom has held innumerable leadership positions with equestrian, corporate, and charitable organizations. He's received many honors, including Business Person of the Year and Business of the Year in the 2005 Ulster County Business Recognition Awards. He's one of the most innovative and determined people I know. He's a consummate family man. He defines the term entrepreneur. It is indeed my pleasure and a true honor to introduce to you Tom Struzzieri, Business Person of the Year.
Thank you. I have to tell you that a couple of years ago, Tom called me about a project before the resort center was built. And we sat down in my office, talked about it. Immediately, he hired about a dozen of our students going all over the state and working on a research project. Thank you very much. And not only to Tom, but also the rest of you who have businesses in this area. I have about 950 students looking for a job. And these are my kids, and I'm responsible for them to get the job. So, but I appreciate that. But again, Tom knows also, as I do, he would have not been successful without the support of his wife and the kids. So Jane and the girls, would you please join me here?
Would
you like to say anything?
No.
Sure. I gave her the chance.
He'll speak for all of us.
She said that you speak for all of them. But Tom, I really admire what you've done for this community. You have brought a lot of businesses, a lot of jobs for this community. The well-being of this community region is very important to you, I know, because I've talked to you and I talked to the people who work for you. And that is exactly what we want to happen, and we truly appreciate that. Tom, is an honor, it's a pleasure to induct you to our Hall of Fame as a Business Person of the Year. Please join me.
I told Hadi I didn't want to accept the same night as Francois for obvious reasons, right? You heard that speech. So it's like serving the good wine first. I'm sorry about that, but you're stuck with me, and you've got me for 33 minutes according to my watch, right?
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
So I don't know the other honorees, though I am pleased to be involved with them tonight. But although it sounds like I'm stealing this from Francois, but I will note that I did have this written down, Francois, so I did not steal this. It's a particularly rewarding night to be honored when one of the people in the room who has garnered more of my respect and admiration than Francois. So it is really a pleasure. But since we couldn't award Francois all the awards, I'm going to gladly accept mine. So, Businessman of the Year. So, it's my 4th most important job. Father, husband, community member. Those 3 responsibilities take precedent in my life. And clearly, I wouldn't be up here today without the terrific support of my family, my beautiful wife Jane, my 2 daughters Pia and Sammy, and my son, who elected to play in his Little League baseball game tonight instead of coming here. And I'm the coach, so we're going to try to get out of here a little bit sooner than I had said. My daughter Pia will tell you about the irony she sees in my getting this award for SUNY of all places. The fact that an excellent university such as New Paltz would select me, a person without a college degree, resonates with her. Of course, my son Tommy feels this is his get-out-of-jail card free and plans on dropping out of school after the 6th grade this year. But I look at this award as a confirmation of my belief that business and success in business is up to the individual. To be successful in business, degree or no degree, one must have a burning passion for the vocation. A passion that will force you to rise when you've been knocked down. And boy, I believe I've been knocked down more than most. A passion that will make your customer understand that no matter how hard the task, that you will endeavor to deliver the best service. A passion that will make working 7 days a week from early morning to late at night a badge of honor. A passion that tells you that you will not succeed until you, the situation, finances, everything is just about at the absolute brink of disaster. I'd like to tell the story of how when I rode, I don't ride much anymore, but training horses was one of the things that I did. And those of you, there are a few of you that do ride in the room, when you ride one that's, you notice I talk about horses, I don't need the notes anymore, huh? But when you ride a really, really good one, these days most of those horses are coming out of Europe, so you happen to know that I'm going to try to get a little international flavor here as well. But when you ride a really, really good one, you ride it and they give you absolutely the least amount of satisfaction until the very bitter end, until you're about to give up when you ride that one for hour after hour, over week after week. And then finally they give in and say, okay, those, by the way, are the horses that produce the absolute best results in the entire world, which is so much like business. You also must need your passion to know when to have compassion, when to take a step back, share the rewards, share the success. So business, my other daughter asked me to put a list together of some of the businesses that I've done. So I put some of those things together. I've trained horses, I've mucked stalls, I've taught riding lessons, I've harvested hay, driven a tractor trailer shipping horses, I've moved furniture, I've driven a cab, not very well. And actually I valet parked some of you very recently in Saugerties. Now that I did well, and some of you still owe me some tips, which I'm going to talk to you about later on. I do keep a list. I've run horse shows, I've ran a tent rental business, I've built and run a shavings manufacturing business, I've started a triathlon business, I've built facilities around the country for horse shows, I've built and sold real estate, I've had an awards business, I've had a horse jump manufacturing business, I've been a landlord, built a hotel, restaurant, run a hotel and restaurant, served food, picked up trash, which I think I do the most of, answered the phone, list goes on and on. In fact, I will tell a story about one particular job I did once at a horse show. So we had a horse show, and the people who worked for me would get this pretty well. So at a horse show, that we had an ambulance at the horse show, of course, and you can run the horse show without the ambulance, but you can't run the horse show without the medical personnel. Makes perfect sense. So we had a horse show, and in Ellenville. And we had a young lady get a bee sting. So I get called over. I don't normally get called over. I try to do most things, but when you get a bee sting, that's not one on my list. But the fellow running the horse show with me called me over to the ambulance and said, boy, Tom, you got to come to the ambulance. We got this young lady with this bee sting, and we're gonna need help. I get over there. What the help was the ambulance driver and the assistant were about to load this woman up into the ambulance and take her to the hospital. Well, I couldn't have that because that meant I had to stop the horse show. So I convinced them that since I was on the Vassar Hospital board, that they would allow me to drive the ambulance, and that would be everything would be perfectly fine if they would let me do that. And somehow they believed that, and so one of the attendants stayed at the horse show, and I drove the ambulance off to the hospital with the woman with the bee sting in the back, and all of my employees looking at me in amazement as I drove out the gate. So that goes on my list of things that I've done as well, ambulance driver. It's, the one common denominator in all that I have done, success or failure, stems from the man who had the most influence in my life, which would be my father, who has passed away, but taught me that there was nothing that was insurmountable if you were to work at it hard enough. So I guess by default, I've tried so many things that sooner or later I got some of them right. But I want to finish by saying that I have had the pleasure of working with Hadi on a few projects, including the one where, with Hadi's help, we procured some working students from SUNY. They were excellent students. They worked for us for a summer, did a great job traveling around the state of New York, exploring a business that I'm in with hydroelectric, and they did a great job for us. Hadi's a terrific asset to the community, and I would be remiss if I did not thank him for all the committee does and all he does. And of course, thank you all so much for this fabulous honor.